Hey, welcome back. Last episode, we did a kind of different approach towards setting an avatar, but we're going to do it another way now. And this way, we're going to use player custom properties with PUN. So if you watched my last episode, we already set up the connection manager. Otherwise, go check that out. Or just watch me now, because we're basically going to redo the whole thing. So we have in our scene already our Playmaker Photon proxy. And then in my connection manager, we have the action PUN connect using settings. We're not using any of these events. We're just going to use this global event, Photon on connected to master. And in this next state, we are going to join a lobby rather than join a room. And I think I don't think you can set the lobby name. Maybe you can, but I've never used these with PUN, although I haven't really even used lobbies that much in Playmaker. And PUN. But all we're going to do now, we're not going to use those events. We're just going to go to add transition, custom events, Photon on joined lobby. Okay. And now we are in the lobby. So now what we need is we need a way to pick our avatar. So let's go create a canvas and our event system. Let's make sure it's using the correct input system by hitting that button. And then in the canvas, we're just going to add a Text Mesh Pro button. And there it is. And let's say sphere. And we'll call this one cube. And we'll call this one, what was our other type? Oh, cone. All right. And so sphere, we'll call this sphere. And then, you know what? Here's a trick. Collapse the canvas, hold down Alt, click the canvas, and they all expand. This is cube. And then this is cone. And then Alt click, they all collapse. I'm gonna grab these three, I'm gonna right click, and I'm gonna create let's do a UI from the canvas. Let's go ahead, we'll do a panel, why not? Panel. And I'm gonna set you to centered. And I'm going to uncheck your image. Let's leave it for now while I resize it. And I'm going to make it up here. And then let's make the width. Oh, first off, let's go to our canvas and go to our canvas scaler, scale the screen size, and just set it to whatever your resolution is going to be. And then if you want it to be width or height or just one or the other, I'm going to do that for now. And then I kind of like my panel size. And I don't like these sizes, so I'm going to make these a little bigger. And then let's alt-click again, get all these text items, and let's make their fonts a little bigger. Alt-click again to collapse them. All right, and then on this panel, I'm just going to do a vertical layout group. And I'm going to set my alignment to middle center. I'm going to uncheck these boxes. And then I'm going to grab all those guys, drop them into the panel, and go back to the panel, hold down Alt so I can just slightly scale this up. And we're going to do that. And then I'm going to disable the image for the panel because I don't care about that. And I don't know, let's do a UI Text Mesh Pro. And we'll move that up. And then we're going to Alt-Shift-Click, move it to the top. And we're just going to say pick an avatar. Where is this thing? Because it's on the canvas. It's up at the top. Where are you? Oh, you're way up there. All right, cool. So let's just go ahead and increase. Let's just auto size it. And we're going to make our max be like 128. And then I'm just going to adjust my width and adjust my height. It's probably bigger than it needs to be. Centered, centered. And let's just go ahead and we're going to move it down to that. Cool. And let's disable that canvas. And then on Connection Manager, we will now grab this canvas and we will game object, activate the game object, undo recursive. And then I'm going to do a button array. And 3 is good. And we have 3 buttons here somewhere. And so we have our sphere, we have our cube, we have our cone, and we're just going to go sphere, transition, cube, transition, cone, transition. And so if sphere, control click. All right, then we're going to custom PUN set player custom property. And so if it's the sphere, then we're going to set the custom property key of avatar, and we're going to use a game object. You can't reference scene objects, although I have seen it work, even though it's not supposed to. But I'm actually going to reference a prefab. And for now, I'm actually just going to reference the avatars I did in my last video. Where's sphere at? Sphere avatar. All right. And then we'll put a success event, although I'm not ready to use it yet. And then let's copy paste, and we'll make this one cube. And we're going to change this to the cube avatar. All right, and so because these are all off this one point, why don't we do this? And then copy paste. We have the cone option. And then choose cone avatar. This is in the assets, right? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I wasn't choosing prefabs. Come back over here. Assets. Cube underscore avatar. And then sphere. Assets. Sphere underscore avatar. Cool. All right, and then bring the cone there. And then control click drag off to get me a new event. Let's link start lock to left. We're bring all these down to success. This link start lock to right. All right. And then here we're just going to instantiate avatar manager. All right, because we already have our player in the scene, and I'm going to keep that for now. And so now what we're going to do is I'm just going to deactivate this avatar manager because we're not using it. And let me see my player. All my player has is a movement. And let me check out one of my avatar prefabs. Anything on here I need to care about? No, not really. All right. So now what I can do is in my resources folder, I can create, let's just do it up here. We're just going to create an empty, and this is going to be our new avatar manager. And so when this thing gets instantiated, also we need to have a Photon view, and we also need a game object, Playmaker Photon game object proxy. All right. And maybe we don't need a Photon view, but I'm just going to leave it for now. And what this is going to do on start is we're going to Photon Network get custom property. And we're not going to reference the local player. We actually want to reference the owned object. And we're going to use the owner. All right, because other players need to know who owns this avatar. And then what are we going to do? All right, so we know the property key we want is avatar. And so the custom properties value we want is, how is it going to know? Oh my goodness, I just realized I was thinking about player preferences, Playmaker player preferences. We're dealing with Photon Network. We can't save game objects over PUN. So I need to go back to the connection manager, and we're gonna make this a string on each of these. So sphere, and then string. This is going to be cube, and then cone, string, cone. All right. And then where's this new avatar made? Okay, so we're going to store this as avatar string. And if we go look in the variables, you can see it's a string. So that's really all we can get from Photon Network get custom properties. It's going to save it as, store it as a string for us no matter what. All right, and you know what we are going to do? We are going to add a transform view. A transform view to this manager. And then in our avatars, we aren't. We're going to remove all of these. So I should be able to do cube and sphere and then remove them like this. Oh, I didn't want to move up. Right click, remove component. Right click, remove component. Right click, remove component. So if you just watched this video and not my last one, you didn't even have those, but these are just meshes without colliders. Okay. So now back to the avatar manager. We know what string it is. All right, and then we don't have any like success event here, which is kind of weird. So this is a little out of the scope of this tutorial, but let's just double check and see what happens once we actually get that property. So I clicked that gear and I clicked edit script. Here we are in the actual C# script. And down here is where it actually gets the properties. I remember there were some issues with this, or at least I thought there was, but it's fine. No, some of this PUN stuff, we get callbacks, we can send success events. But I think this finish one will be fine. But I kind of want to add a success event here, but for now we're just going to leave it and see if it works. I saved, so it's recompiling. All right, and so really what I kind of want to do, just to make sure that, I mean, add transition finished, it should be fine. Let's just do that. Let's label this so I don't forget what it is. Call it avatar. Okay. And so then once we have that, let's go in a different state. Let's do a string switch. Right? And the string we're going to use is the avatar string. We're going to do 3. Shoot, what did we save those as? Connection manager, lowercase. Okay. So we have cube, sphere, cone. And let's just add events. Cube, add event sphere, and add event cone. All right, and F2, copy, paste, enter. And so if it's cube, we're going to, what are we going to do? So we don't need to network instantiate the mesh, because this avatar manager has been network instantiated. So everybody's already going to know what's happening. So all we need to do is create game object. And the parent, we're going to use itself, which, just to be safe, let's just add a new state, set a start state, get owner. And we'll just store this as self. And we'll just put this at the top, get owner. And then add transition finish. So that just gets the owner of the FSM, which is this game object. And so the parent, what do we want the name of this to be? Avatar. The parent is going to be itself, and its position, we're going to reset to 0, 0, 0. Its rotation to 0, 0, 0. And let's store it as avatar. And we're calling this one cube. Oh wait, this is creating a new game object. That's not what we want. Sorry. Create object. That's what we want. All right. So that makes more sense. So let's go to the assets, and we want the cube avatar, and the parent is going to be self. Spawn point, I'm just going to hit that because we're not using that. And the position and rotation, I can zero out right there, and we're storing this as the avatar. All right, so now I'm going to copy and paste that, and we can do this for the sphere. Okay, so this is going to be, state. This is going to be the sphere. And why did I do that? Let's make this the sphere avatar. There it is. That all should still be good. And we'll copy paste. Bring the cone here. Let's call this cone. Get the cone avatar. All right, so that avatar manager should be loading now. So let's backtrack. Connection manager, we connect. And then here we are activating avatar canvas. Okay, and then we choose which avatar we want. And then when we do it, we are then instantiating the avatar manager, which we need to make into a prefab in our resources folder. Let's drag that in there and delete. Go back to the connection manager, Playmaker. And so now we're going to instantiate and we are going to instantiate in the assets, avatar, new avatar manager, spawn point, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about any of that because I'm just going to parent it now. Set parent of the avatar manager to our player. Role position is not staying. We're going to reset the local position and rotation. And I think that'll do it. Let's see if I got it. Let's hit play. All right, so we've connected, we've joined the lobby, it's activated the canvas, but my text is in kind of a weird spot. I'm just gonna fix it real quick. I'm going to go to my canvas, I'm gonna reactivate it, and rather than have the text at the top, we're gonna Alt-Shift, make it the center, make its position relative to the center, and then put it there, and now it should be better. So let's hit play again. Playing, let's look at our connection manager. It's connected, it's activated the canvas. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to hit sphere, and when I do, it's going to set the custom property, and then it's going to instantiate the avatar manager that hopefully gets set the child of this player. So I'm going to hit sphere, and cannot instantiate before the client. Oh, dirt. Okay, so we have to join a room first. So we are going to first add a state. Let's do join room, and we'll just create this ASDF room. Create if it doesn't exist. Copy, paste, join room. So success all these to the joining of the room. And then we're going to add the transition, custom events, Photon on joined room. Because whether you're creating it or you're not creating it, you're still going to be joining it. So that's enough, the joined room transition for us. All right, so let's hit play and see what happens. All right, connecting. Joining the lobby, activating the canvas. Let's go ahead and click on sphere. We've clicked sphere. Oh, snap. Let's, on activating the canvas, reset on exit. One more time. All right, connecting, joining the lobby. Let's pick our sphere. The canvas went away. And there you see, we have a sphere because it set the sphere text as our avatar string. Then we joined a room, and then we instantiated this avatar manager, which is now a child of our player. Even though our player is not network synced, for us, we can see our player move around, and this avatar on our end is still moving with the player, but everybody else will still see the avatar moving because we have this Photon transform view. So here's our avatar manager. So as soon as this spawned, it got itself. It then got the custom property, which it saw was a sphere, and then it compared it to these strings, and then it did the sphere, in which case it created that object, and it set it as a parent of this thing. So now I can move around with the sphere, and let's see if it works over multiplayer. So we need to do a build and run. All right, here we go. I have 3 instances of the app open. Up here, I'm going to create a sphere. Down here, I'm going to create a cube, and down here, I'm going to create a cone. All right, so let's move Cone Boy over there. There we go. Oh, no, that ain't good. What did I do wrong? Oh, no. So let's hit play, and let's see what it looks like on our end in the editor, because we'll see all 3 of those players. So we will be a cube ourselves. Okay, so here we are, we're a cube. And so here we have the other 3 avatars, right? And we should be seeing this thing move. And we should be seeing this sphere move with it. I don't know why this isn't working. This doesn't make any sense. Because here's our player, and we have our avatar here. So even though our player doesn't have a transform view, because it's a child of our player, it's still getting moved around, right? I mean, it's, oh, I know the issue. let's go ahead and close all those. And in our new avatar manager, we set it to local, and it's always going to be 0, 0, 0. So that's why we weren't seeing anything move. So I'm going to back out of that, save it. Now that I changed that, uncheck that local, and let's build and run again. All right, here we are. I'm going to do sphere down here, cube over here, cone up here. All right, so we should be the cone now, right? There's our cone moving around. Everybody can see them. What are we here? The cube? We're the cube. We're moving around. That's pretty good syncing, isn't it? And then there's the sphere moving around. All right, there you have it. Selecting avatar using PUN custom properties. It ultimately just comes down to that you need to be getting the custom properties on the first object or on an object that gets instantiated into the network. And then right at the beginning of the FSM, you have it get, I mean, it's not the very beginning, but near the beginning, you have it get the property you need. And then based on that property, it then sets itself. So hopefully this was helpful for some folks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.